Hey guys, this is a little pre-show announcement. Make sure you go to blackonblackcinema.com, sign up for our premium content. It's a big red banner. You can't miss it. It's $5 a month or $50 for the full year. You get shows like our political show, which is hosted by me and a rotating group of guests, including people from this show and our other shows and voices you've never heard. Also, there's another show called Airing of Grievances that Mike and I host, which is our Seinfeld show where we go through each episode and relate it to our lives and tell really funny personal stories that you will not hear anywhere else on the network. So make sure you sign up, $5 a month, $50 for the full year. Now on to the show.
You have no idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Come on, prepare and let's reputate on it, you know?
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with Micah.
Hey.
Rob.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
All right, so we're back. This is episode 78, Talk to Me. This, of course, is the 2007 film about the Washington, D.C. radio personality Petey Greene, played by Don Cheadle, also co-starring Chiwetel Ejiofor, Taraji P. Henson, Cedric the Entertainer, and Mike Epps. This was directed by Casey Lemons, and it was also written by Michael Gennett and Rick Famuyiwa. So, of course, you know that name because he has done so many black movies, but we'll talk more about that later. Before we get started, I wanted to talk about our new advertiser, which is Solo Noir for Men. This is a black male grooming company. They have a bunch of different products for your hair and your skin and all that other stuff. So you can go to their website, which is solonoirformen.com. You can use our promo code BBC.
Truth in advertising.
Which is just hilarious. But make sure you check that out. If you buy anything before the end of this month in February, you get free shipping. They have things for addressing ingrown hairs, skin imperfections, giving your skin that beautiful black glow as a man.
They have stuff for ingrown hair stuff?
Yeah.
Look,
it fucking plagues me,
that's
man.
why I don't shave my head.
Is that right?
That's exactly why I don't, because the back of my head gets absurd.
Gross.
Hey, a friend of mine has the same thing. I had to tell him to stop doing it. I was like, dude.
Look, it happens to me on my face. So
what discount do we get with BBC?
Yeah, there's no discount this month, but there probably will be one next month.
I hope it's a deep discount.
A big black discount.
Excellent. All right, we're the worst. So make sure you check that out, solonoirformen.com. Thanks. All right, so we do have a couple of 5-star reviews this week, so let's go through those. The first one is from Bomber424. The title is 5 stars review. Quote, "Hey guys, I love the show and I love hearing you giving your opinions on classic black film. Honestly, I don't want you to do Major Payne, but if you do, I hope you can balance that comedy, in quotes, with Undercover Brother, an actual funny and entertaining film." Damn, throwing shade at your movie there, Micah. The next one is from QC321. The title is Love You Guys. Quote, "I've been listening to you guys for a while and I thought it was time to leave a review. Even if I don't agree with your review 100%, I find your comments and interactions interesting, fun, and sometimes downright hilarious. Really wanted to see video of the Diary of a Mad Black Woman to witness Micah's anger and Terrence's laughter. Keep up the great work." Nah, you didn't want to see that.
Yeah, you did.
Micah's utter
fucking funny.
Micah's utter confusion as we try to explain normal things to him in that movie.
I wish you guys had seen Micah's side eye that I was just laughing at a second ago.
Not pleased.
Some for real side eye.
The next one is from Shepard Wong. The title is Smart and Funny. Quote, "I was searching for a new movie podcast and randomly checked out the Last Dragon episode. This quickly became my favorite podcast. I'd love it if you guys could do episodes on Darktown Strutters or Ralph Bakshi's Coonskin." So we will keep those both in mind.
Bakshi?
Bakshi?
The animator, right?
Yes. Yeah, Coonskin is an animated movie. And last but certainly not least is from Wonderlust 1020. The title is The Reason I Laugh Embarrassingly Loud in Public. Quote, "As a person that identifies as a black nerd and wannabe movie aficionado, Black and Black Cinema is everything one could ask for a comedic and thoughtful black cinema podcast. I find myself laughing in public and having scared many strangers away. Start with the Insecure episode, which has me questioning my love for vitamin water, then Temptation, and you'll be hooked. That's good.
Forgot about that.
Keep up the good work and the hilarious impersonations. Movie to review in the future, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Look, that movie is prime for this show because it's ridiculous. And it's still good.
I've never seen it. Then
I don't think I've ever seen it either.
With Martin Lawrence?
No.
I've never seen the entirety of it. I've seen bits and pieces, but not the whole thing.
There's some scenes in that movie that are fucking outrageous. Like they're just outrageous. All right, so this is, like I said, this is the 2007 biographical film Talk to Me about Ralph Petey Green, who was a famous talk show DJ in DC. Okay, so what did you guys think of the film? We'll start with Rob, and then we'll go around.
Apparently, I'm the only one here who hadn't seen it before.
Yeah.
I really, really liked this film. It was just well written, really well acted. Like, I loved everybody in this movie, even the prerequisite famous white dude that they had to put in there to get funded. But I like him in everything though. But I like the fact that I wasn't really seeing the actors anymore. Like, they really became their characters, and it was a great story. And if I have to give it a star rating, I would give it 4 out of 5. That's because I went and started reading, because I didn't know much about Petey Green.
Right.
So I started trying to read some on Petey Green, and I saw how much they changed for this film. And it kind of bothers me that they changed so much and completely made up some things.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
So,
Like, there's a whole section in the movie that's just completely made up.
100%.
Okay. Well, I don't know what that is, so I'm interested to hear what
Well,
it is.
it's
All right.
if you watch the movie and you're like, ooh, I want to go look that up and see. Oh, that doesn't exist.
That never happened.
Yeah. So only because of the inaccuracies do I bump it down a star, because it's a really good film on its own. But I feel like if you love Petey Green, you would be upset
Oh, because of the inaccuracy.
it's so inaccurate.
Is this another hurricane?
There's where the hurricane has a lot of inaccuracies.
Like all of it.
Like the entire movie?
There are like,
Was there even a guy named the Hurricane at any
I
point?
think his nickname was actually Typhoon.
Yeah, they just like
Wow, that's fucking fun. Like, okay, I just throw this out there because it doesn't affect what you know or don't know about the movie. He had 4 kids.
Did he?
Really? This is like not even remotely
like
mentioned.
it's not in. Yeah, it's,
Yeah, like there's no kids in the film.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of a
Big
decent
deal.
That's a big deal. Like
Yeah.
that shapes people's lives. But
There's other stuff, and I'm sure Micah has like a nice rundown of it. It's ridiculous.
wow. Okay, Terrence, what'd you think?
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this movie multiple times. This is probably like my 3rd or 4th time watching it, and it's still good to me. I'm gonna have to listen to the inaccuracies. You can tell there's certain scenes you can tell.
Yeah, you're
that
like, there's
shit-
no way
There's no
this-
way that shit happened. But acting is really good. I posted a video yesterday of a dude, and I just randomly saw it online, and it ended up being Petey. I didn't know it was him.
What was the video?
It was the funniest goddamn thing you'll ever see in your life. He's talking about eating watermelon.
It is legit hilarious. So if you go to our Facebook fan group, blackonblackcinema.com/fans, you can join that.
Right. But watching that video and then watching Don Cheadle play him, like, he didn't do him justice, man. Like, he did a really good job.
Right, but there's
he
still
wasn't over the top enough.
right. No, Petey Green for real he seems like the caricature of Don Cheadle's character. Like
It's
it goes the
insanity.
opposite way. Yeah.
Really?
But nonetheless, Don Cheadle was really good. Chiwetel Ejiofor, always good. The movie is just a well-written, well-directed, well-acted movie. I enjoy it. You can tell, like I said, that there are some liberties taken with the story. But overall, I don't know the inaccuracies just yet, so I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. And Taraji P. Henson is fucking fine.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure one of the
Jesus
inaccuracies is that
Christ.
she was not that fine in real life.
Like this.
I'll talk.
Afros.
Her outfit.
Yeah,
I know it's fake, but goddamn
No,
it.
the afro got bigger, and the
Yeah, it was like, what is going on with
it was like going down her back, but it was so hot, and her costumes got less and less fabric.
there?
She
Yeah,
had
I was
a
like,
shag afro at the end of the movie.
And she was a shag afro and damn near a bikini walking around, and I'm like,
I
I'm
don't
fine
give
with
a
it.
Goddamn.
yeah. Well,
Like-
we'll talk
No,
about that.
seriously, we're watching the movie. The first scene that she's in, not the first scene, the second scene when they're walking down the street. I'm sitting there. And Laura's like, "That dress has a nice opening in front, doesn't it?"
It's like, well,
She's like, "Yeah, no." She was right there with me.
yeah. Hey, look, it was hard to ignore. I'll just say
I
that.
wasn't trying to ignore it.
Go ahead,
Micah.
Micah.
This movie is very entertaining. It's a well shot movie, but it's not. It didn't blow me away with any type of cinematography or anything. I feel like it's journeyman filmmaking, and it is I don't know. It feels like a feel good movie.
So
It's-
to give you an idea, to give you perspective, this is the same director of Eve's Bayou.
Yeah, I
Is
saw.
it? Oh, okay. Casey Miller. All right. It's a woman, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Vonnie Curtis Hall's wife.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that explains why
Oh,
he
that's when
shows
he was
up.
in it.
Right.
And he was also in Eve's Bayou. That's funny.
So yeah, this movie is really good. It's the perfect kind of plane movie for me.
Plane? Oh, as in actual
Airplane movie.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. It's feel good. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing particularly outstanding about it,
Right.
but it's not mediocre. I would probably give this like a 3.75.
Okay.
And knocking a quarter of a point off for the inaccuracies. Like, there's not a lot of inaccuracies from what I can tell, but the one big glaring inaccuracy in this movie,
P.D. Green was Asian,
I mean,
which that would be something like. Oh.
it's like wow, like this whole section of movie did not need to be here.
Oh, okay.
Like it was.
So just
we'll
wait,
get to-
just wait. Just wait.
It's,
But yeah, it's a movie definitely worth watching, and I'm really glad that Terrence Howard, who was briefly attached to star as
To
Petey
do what?
Green,
Oh
to
my
star
God.
as Petey Green,
Good night.
was not in it.
The fuck out.
But he did recommend Taraji P. Henson, and Taraji apparently gave a really good performance, which is why she is actually in the movie. But yeah,
Terrence
Howard was supposed to be.
So
You should have left that shit.
has Terrence Howard ever had sex with Henson at all?
I think
With
it's.
his micro penis? Probably not.
Oh,
I think it's
alleged.
more like
Alleged.
has Henson
Have you
had
seen,
sex
Get Rich or
with
Die
Terrence
Trying?
Howard.
Well, my thing is they're like super friends, and I'm wondering if he's ever laid hands on her because I fucking
laid hands on her.
Like, as in, as in
it's
punching.
exactly what I'm saying.
No, I don't think so.
I think she would kill him.
Yeah,
I don't think
because-
she's acting.
Oh,
a lot.
she would. Yeah, no,
She's not an actress, guys.
she black as shit.
She black as shit. Yeah. Like,
holy shit is she?
yeah.
She black and proud, boy.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was man. I hate that fucking.
This is like I know you guys don't watch what's that name of that show? That she's
Empire?
in?
Empire.
Empire. But that's what Cookie acts like.
Well, I know. I was gonna get to that actually. So
Oh wait, she got a Golden Globe for being black as shit.
Yeah,
That's fucking awesome.
that's fucking great, man.
That's
So-
amazing.
So for me, I really enjoyed this movie. I would agree with the sentiments from everybody. It doesn't do anything. I think Mike is right. It doesn't do anything that's like tremendously outstanding or tremendously offensive either. It's just one of those movies where you watch and go, that was just a good movie. Like
It's time well spent.
Like, I really like it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, all right, I like that movie. a
Right,
lot.
exactly. And there's not like, well, that one part. You just like, no, that was just good from start to finish. Like, it's got a good amount of comedy. It's got a good amount of seriousness to it, and characters have arcs. Like, it is well shot. It does exactly what a movie should do, right? In all of the strictest sense of the word. But for me, I think I would probably give it. I probably give it a 4. I've seen it more. I think this is also my third time seeing it. Like, I just really enjoy the movie. I think Don Cheadle is so fucking good. But in watching this again, what I realize is the story is more about Dewey than it is about Petey Green, which is kind of an interesting thing, right? Or it's almost equal time between the two characters.
Especially towards the end.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
once it hits the middle, it does kind of transition
to more to Dewey.
to Dewey, right?
But especially it's Dewey who really grows in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, Petey Green is. I mean, he grows a little bit,
Petey
but
Green's Petey Green.
yeah,
Okay,
it's just
okay.
like you just like it. Basically, everyone has to either accept him or not,
Yeah,
and that's just kind of who he is.
In the end, PD was still PD, but Dewey's the one who really changed.
Yeah, he had to. He had to grow. I mean, shit. Like physically, he changes over time. Like he just gets blacker and blacker until the end of the movie.
Which you can measure by his facial hair.
Right, exactly. It's like the larger his sideburns and thicker his mustache gets, the more he's wearing like a dashiki. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what's happening? But I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was very good. As black biopics go, Petey Green is a really small character to concentrate on. But they do it really, really well. And you know what? I have to say, I think it's official for me. Don Cheadle is my favorite black actor.
Thank you.
Like he is. Like, look, don't get me wrong. That's not saying anything bad about Denzel. I know because black people will fucking come for your head. But I think Don Cheadle has more range than he.
Look,
he does.
Oh,
we can all agree that Denzel is Denzel in everything he plays.
Yeah, he just is. We just
I mean,
all
we just accept it because he's so fucking cool.
right. And that's the thing is Denzel is so cool that you just go, virtuosity. Fine,
I love virtuosity.
I know you do.
I fucking love
I
virtuosity.
kind of like that movie.
No, I do too. It's ridiculous.
You still need to see Flight. I think Flight is.
I haven't seen.
I
Flight
think
yet.
I personally think that's his best performance, but he's just
Denzel.
He's alcoholic Denzel.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it is like Denzel in whatever situation. And so, like, and I just don't think he has as much range. That doesn't mean he's not great. He was so good in Malcolm X because I think Malcolm X was basically like Denzel Washington in real life. So it helped. But I think Don Cheadle has been able to play characters like all over the place, and not only play them, but play them extremely well. I can't honestly think of a Don Cheadle role I did not absolutely love him in. Like, I can't.
He sure as shit fixed fucking War Machine.
Yeah, he made it. There was a character I could give a fuck about, but he made him likable and he made him fun. So yeah, I just for me, Don Cheadle is the best black
I'm still
actor.
amazed they got him for that.
I mean, the sad thing is, like, what was he doing at the time?
Not
Which is
much.
not much, but now he's got that show. Not Shameless.
House of Lies.
House of Lies that he's like won a number of awards for too. I haven't watched it yet, but I hear it's really
That
good.
dude's busy.
Hey, he stays busy now.
What was he in? I'm looking at the movies he's been in. He was in Flight, huh?
Was he?
Apparently.
Was he Denzel's brother? His
He may have been.
his more range aware
I don't
brother.
remember him. I gotta see that movie again.
He was just another pilot. All right, so let's get into it. The movie opens with maybe one of the greatest openings of all time. Just Petey Green saying, "Wake up, God damn it!" Which, look, if I could get my alarm clock to play that, I would. It's fucking hilarious. But then we see Chiwetel Ejiofor's character Dewey heading to a local prison to visit his brother. So Chiwetel plays a guy named Dewey Hughes who works at a radio station, but you find that out later. So he heads up to Lorton, which is a jail, I guess, just outside of D.C. And I think it's Lorton, Maryland, right? Isn't that where he would be?
Lawton.
Or Lawton, Maryland?
Yeah, I think it's Lawton.
Well, he goes to see his scrub-ass brother, Mike Epps, who...
A role he was born to play.
yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, is he going to be a criminal? I mean, okay.
He's
What
gonna
do
be a
you
criminal
think
with
of?
5
What do
lines.
you guys think of Mike Epps? As
You
far
think
as
he's
an
going to pull off that Richard Pryor role?
Well, apparently Micah doesn't give a fuck about that nigga. But
I mean, he's going to play Richard Pryor. You think he
I
can do
don't
it?
think he's a horrendous actor. But
I think he's
never
had some bad
necessarily-
parts. I think he's had some bad parts,
Like
but I don't.
like what was the movie we did with him in
Repentance.
Repentance? He wasn't horrible in Repentance.
I feel like you need to go back and watch that movie.
Him personally,
Yeah, he was pretty
wasn't-
bad. in
He
that.
wasn't the worst part of that movie.
No,
That's
right.
the thing.
I will
No,
say-
he wasn't the worst part. But that, come on, that doesn't make you good.
Oh,
like,
you are not here.
yeah, okay.
I
It doesn't-
understand.
No, I didn't say he was good. I just said
Repentance
he's
was
not
full
horrible.
of good actors that were horrible in that
Right,
movie.
exactly.
You can't blame him for anything in that movie. I'm sorry.
Here's what I'll say. I think Mike Epps has the potential to be a decent actor. I do not think he's funny at all.
Really?
I don't find him.
I think he's had-
amazing at all.
I have watched some of
I
his
think he
stand up
was
in the past.
hilarious in a Friday after Friday 2. What the fuck was the next
Friday
one?
after next?
Friday after next?
The
Oh,
next
next
Friday?
Friday.
Before Friday of the month.
God damn.
Those movies need to stop.
That's different when someone else is right. Like I haven't seen his stand up. I wouldn't know.
His stand up is it's just a nigga in the classroom making jokes. Is literally
Yeah,
that's all.
I mean, look, some of it's funny when he does his fucking Judge Joe Brown impression. That shit makes me laugh because
It
it's
is.
accurate as
that's,
fuck.
that's really, really relevant. really, really relevant.
That's all I got.
Judge Joe
now,
Brown.
mind you, this was years
My
ago.
grandmother loves that guy.
God damn.
I don't think he's terrible.
Look,
He
he's
just
in
needs the right role.
He's in this show called Survivor's Remorse.
He's all right in that.
I'm perfectly fine with him in
Right.
that.
He's
He fits
in
a
his
certain
lane. Right.
role in that show.
Is he just a nigga
he's-
though?
Yeah, he's.
I mean,
he's
I know.
your-
I mean,
he's
I'm
your-
asking. I'm just asking a question.
He's your.
He's like
He's
the
your
uncle.
Yeah, he's your old uncle.
Oh, yeah,
That's
like
what-
my
that's what he
uncle.
put.
You know what? That actually makes sense. You know
Yeah.
what? I accept that.
And the thing, like,
If he wants to be everybody's old uncle, I'm perfectly fine with his career.
that's funny. Like I'm saying though, it's all
what's
about
Richard
okay.
Pryor?
You know Brooklyn
Somebody's
Nine-Nine.
uncle.
Right.
My favorite character on Brooklyn Nine-Nine is Gina,
Oh,
the secretary.
oh God, I can't remember her real name, but yes, I
But,
do.
but she's fucking hilarious in that show.
Yeah, she is very funny.
And then I watched her stand up.
It's awful.
I
It's
was
awful.
like, oh, I like you on the show.
I'm going to become Jack for a moment. I don't necessarily think I've seen any female stand-ups that are hilarious. I haven't seen them.
I haven't, not off the top of my head, and I've seen a lot of.
I have too.
love
I
stand-up.
literally looked for them. One day I looked for them on Netflix, and I'm like, this shit ain't funny.
I turned on Whitney Cummings, and I'm like, I'm Whitney Goings. Get the fuck out of here. Shit ain't funny, man.
I mean, I'm
I- like, I-
going to say this, and you're an asshole because you'll jump on me for this. I saw Amy Schumer live in Baltimore.
Was she funny?
Yeah.
I saw.
I don't find Amy Schumer funny
I don't even.
at all.
I saw.
She's a jokester.
Who's the woman from Archer?
Oh,
Aisha Tyler.
saw
I don't
Aisha
find
Tyler.
Aisha Tyler funny at all.
I
stand-up
saw
is
her.
terrible.
Her stand up is god awful. I saw that stand up at the Comedy Factory here, and it just wasn't funny.
I'm
It
not,
just
I'm not a
wasn't.
fan of hers outside of Archer.
Thank-
to be quite honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
Like I haven't.
I don't watch
anything-
Archer, so I don't even have that to redeem her. Like I just don't. I don't find
It's-
her
well,
particularly entertaining.
when you watch Archer, it's not really her.
right, it's just a ridiculous character. You know, I know she does the voice for.
Although some of the characters are they look like people in real life, but aren't played by those people. Like they did a behind the scenes thing when they had the girl that plays. They had a woman that looks like Pam come in, and someone dub over her. And it was funny as hell. Like they based this Pam off of a person in their office.
Yeah,
So, but anyway, yeah, some people just ain't funny.
I mean, look, I think that Mike Epps is going to be able to pull off Richard Pryor. I don't
think
know.
He's going to be terrible at it.
I think at the comedy parts, like the delivering of the jokes, I think he will be really good at that.
I mean, look, it's someone else writing for him. He'll probably pull it off.
Mhm.
He looks like him. He kind of sounds like him.
Yeah, his
And I
like his
can
joke
see him
delivery is
do a
similar.
Richard Pryor.
And I can
Ooh.
see him being a crackhead. So yeah,
What's her name? What's her name? Glazer. Something Glazer that's getting her own show on Comedy Central right now.
I don't know.
If you want to see funny women, watch At Midnight
Oh, are there? Is there?
because it's all improv.
I mean, look. Here's the
and-
thing. One of
and-
my favorite shows with like female comedians is Broad City. Those two women on that show are fucking hilarious.
Oh my god!
I don't think like for stand up. Sometimes sketch comedy is very different than stand up.
Yeah,
it
but
just is.
they write that show.
Yeah.
So
But again, like writing situations versus telling jokes is just a
Yeah,
different
they're
being on
story.
stage
they're
and
still
telling
at least
jokes.
funny. And I've seen them on whose show were they on? They were on the Nightly Show, both of them.
Yeah. No, they're hilarious. But I don't know. Like Amy Schumer? Nah, that's not for me.
Yeah, I know. We know.
Anyway, so let's get back to the movie. So Dewey is at jail, and at the same time, Dewey's brother, played by Mike Epps, is like, "Look, man, this is the guy I was telling you about, and it's a guy. He's hearing Petey Green over the loudspeaker. So apparently, the jail allows for like a DJ kind of morning show
That
guy.
was weird.
Yeah, it felt like high school, like Channel One, kind of thing.
I
And
used to do that
what's that?
in high school.
Were you on? Were you
I was
on?
on a couple times, and I did that.
can you imagine?
No.
All right, here are the announcements. We having that
did.
square stale ass pizza for lunch and chocolate milk.
But I did mostly. I was in the back doing the production.
See,
You fucking AV nerd.
I did some of that in middle school.
Jesus, the two of you. You guys were
But-
really
but
laying down a lot of pussy back
It
then.
was
huh?
it was pre-recorded, and it was fun, and you can go right to hell. All right.
I always want
We actually did it
look.
live.
No, the funny
You
thing is,
pre-recorded? Oh, you did in middle school.
Yeah.
We had
yeah,
this
they ain't
shit live.
they didn't trust middle school. No, we need to hear what you're gonna say.
No,
Write that shit down.
We did like a little news program.
That's funny. All right, so then Petey Green actually meets Dewey at the jail, and Taraji P. Henson, his girlfriend, is there. She plays Vernell Watson, which is maybe the second blackest name after Petey Green.
Ralph
What was his
Waldo
real name?
Petey
Ralph
Green.
Waldo.
Somebody trying to upgrade their station through their kid.
Now,
Yeah, like Ralph Waldo
Ralph
Emerson.
Waldo.
Like,
Here's the
nah,
first-
bruh.
Here's the first inaccuracy I came across, because I mean I didn't do a shit ton of research, but like I said, he got 4 kids by a wife that ain't her.
Oh, really? Come,
Damn.
really?
Yeah.
So who is this chick?
Oh,
She's a fictional side chick.
I have to read more on it because that was not the name of his wife.
I don't know who Vernell Watson was, but apparently she was much more interesting than the original. So they meet, and Petey Green is like, "Look, man, yeah, I'm a DJ, and you need me," kind of thing. And Dewey's like, "You're in jail. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about?" It's like, "You're a miscreant." And
Fuck this nigga go.
yeah, he was like, "What is a miscreant?" Like, he couldn't even pronounce it. And so basically, Dewey's like, "No, get out of my face." He's like, "Maybe you can look me up when you get out." And so Petey's like, "Oh, no problem. This is just a minor inconvenience that I'm in jail." So then we cut to a production meeting between Dewey and all these other white production guys at the radio station, and Martin Sheen, who owns the radio station, looking like the fucking president, is basically like, "Look, we're getting our asses kicked by these other stations, and we don't know why." And Dewey basically says, "Look, we're a station that's supposed to be for the people, and if we start to be the establishment, the people will turn on us."
Was this before or after West Wing?
This is 2000. This would be after West Wing.
Okay.
It's 2007.
Yeah, 2007. So then you find out, Petey's sitting in jail. He's like, lamenting about being there. And then this whole ordeal happens where like this crazy guy is on the roof yelling about how the warden has a tiny dick and just acting crazy. And of course the warden, like any other piece of shit's like, can we just shoot this guy?
He says shoot him between the eyes. I'm like, God damn.
Like, really?
The guy's like, I don't think we do that, bruh.
Like-
Well, where can I shoot him? Like,
Take it easy.
calm down.
Like, he's just a crazy person. So the crazy guy on the roof is like, "I'm not going to talk to anybody except for Petey Green. Get Petey out here." And so they do, and they bring Petey out, and he basically says to the warden, "Look, I can get him down. I can get him down in like 5 minutes, but we're going to have to make a deal." And the warden's like, "Oh, what kind of deal?" And basically,
No, he doesn't. The warden doesn't ask him what kind of deal. The warden tells him what kind of deal.
oh, right.
Apparently, this was the warden's idea to set him free.
Well, no, because not quite, because he was basically like, what do I need to do to get you to talk this guy down? And Petey's like, he basically kind of whispers in his ear, or the warden whispers in his ear, like, "Look, this is what I can offer you." Obviously, he was commuting his sentence or shortening his sentence. And then Petey just like, "Hey, crazy guy, I'm gonna tell your mama if you don't get down." And the guy gets down immediately, which is shady at best. And so, of course, then Petey gets out of jail because that was clearly the deal. And so him and what's her name, Vernell. I want to say Vernita, but that's not true.
Because Vernell sounds like a dude's name.
Yeah, no, it really does.
It does.
So Vernell and Petey are walking down the street, and they basically they're across the street from the radio station that Dewey works at, and Petey is like legitimately afraid to go in. Like, he's like, "My legs don't work. I can't do it." Which, by the way, his accent that he puts on for this role is fucking hilarious. And it's like you said earlier, Terrence, it's not as over the top as Petey Green's is, because Petey Green he might be the blackest nigga on earth.
Did you see the video that I posted?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips of Petey Green.
That nigga is hilarious.
Talking about eating watermelon.
We might have to need to put that clip at the end of this show.
It's too
That
good.
shit's too fucking funny.
It's too good. So they so she convinces Vernell, basically talks him up and like kind of strokes his ego, and then Petey Green is like fucking feeling himself. He's like, oh shit. Proving that, look, for black dudes, all we need is a good woman to talk us up, and our egos will get gigantic, and we feel like we can take over
I don't
the
even
world.
think that's. I think that's dudes. Period.
Well, we're just talking about. We're only talking about us right now. Can I just state for the record that Taraji P. Henson is the black female version of Denzel Washington? She is the same. She's the same character in everything she's in.
And all black dudes
really
think she's
is.
fine as hell. Like all black women think Denzel fine as hell.
Yeah. Look, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Taraji P. Henson at all. But I just think it's funny that she's never acting. She's just the same. She's the same person every
She
time.
was
tell you
like
what.
Benjamin Button, wasn't she?
I never saw that.
She was.
If Taraji P. Henson
got
could
nominated.
wear this afro forever,
Mm-hmm.
like I'd be perfectly fine with that.
Oh,
Well, by now it'd be like a carpet across the floor, really get longer throughout the movie.
I mean, look, just like freshen that shit up, man.
it's so funny because it is so
You say
obvious.
freshen that shit up. That thing is, I mean, yeah, it's fake, but it is
So,
tight.
no, but the thing is, it is so obviously fake. Like they didn't even give her like a reasonable afro. It's massive and it's like shaking and shit. It's just funny. Like we get it. That is not real. Where Don Cheadle's looks much more believable.
Yeah,
You know. But look again.
this is 70s though.
Look, natural hair,
Or
man.
60s. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but look, natural hair. Look, black women, get on that shit because it's really super attractive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It,
Look,
it just really is.
I didn't appreciate that shit until I met my wife. I'm like, all right now.
Like I just
We have
to
some
me
fun with this.
like. God
You don't
damn
have to worry about. Never mind.
it. Don't do that. So from there, like Petey's like now he's feeling himself, so he decides that he's going to go into the radio station with no problem. So we cut to inside the radio station. We have Vondi Curtis Hall ending the episode of his show, and it's like one of those cheesy like, "Oh, thanks for listening" type of radio shows. Yeah,
Had a
he's
fucking.
horn with like a
my
fake
God.
voice.
Oh,
that reminded me of
It's like so cheesy.
John Candy on
Good job, everybody.
oh my god, on Little Shop of Horrors.
I don't even remember that.
Micah knows that movie.
Yeah, say it again.
It reminded me of John Candy's character on Little Shop of Horrors, the stupid radio station that he had when he honked the horn.
Wink Martindale? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. DJs used to do that. DJs
They
used to
still do crappy.
Yeah, a lot of them still do.
the gator and the lunatic.
I mean, now it's more like, War of the Roses, hey,
Yeah.
Wacky Morning Zoo, like, and they hire actors to play out this terrible like reality TV-esque scene. Like, we're gonna call your husband to see if he's home.
That shit's
Hey,
not funny.
Jim. Oh, you're home, but you're fucking someone else? Well, we've got your wife on the other line. Hi. Like,
And
all right.
that's
people
why,
believe that shit is real.
and
Dumb.
that is why I pay for online radio.
Yeah, dude. Look,
Fuck that.
like
Christ.
I cannot listen to like Morning Zoo Crew. Like, what's the name still does that Roses thing?
Like, if you listen to the Kane show, just turn this
What?
shit off.
I don't even know what that is.
Exactly.
What's the guy who was the host of American Idol?
Which one?
Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, he doesn't. He has like one of the biggest radio shows in the country. He does that
he
Roses
does-
thing too, right?
Does he? I know
Yeah.
he does like a lot of top 40 stuff. I thought he was above that.
No.
God damn it, Ryan.
Whatever. He's making money.
Yeah, he made a lot of money. So Petey Green shows up at the radio station. He's like, "Yeah, I'm here to get my job." Feeling like pretty entitled. It's like, who told you had a job here? He's like, no, Dewey told me I had a job here. You know, like the black dude.
This scene.
Well, hold on a second. This reminds me of 40-Year-Old Virgin, where Kevin Hart walks into the store and he's like, "Look, man, like, you're like, you know, you got a nigga tie on. Like, now be my nigga. Like, no, get out of my face. I'm gonna give you a discount. Like, fuck out of here."
Somebody's
scene-
with this nigga tie.
This scene is the most niggerish scene in movie history
Oh, it's pretty goddamn black.
because The music come on, she screams and starts dancing, and he's like, "Give me that job now." "No, you're giving me a job." "No, I want the job." "Nope, you ain't calling security." Hangs up the phone for her. It was ridiculous.
Absolutely nuts. No, I mean, look, the scene is absolutely hilarious.
100% of the way through it.
Oh yeah, and like, look, they show this guy, the Hawk, played by Cedric the Entertainer, who apparently has like, Cedric the Entertainer has like a deep voice, and apparently Vernell is like about that life, and she is all about this dude. So
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna regret saying it so much. He was like, he got the voice, and I'm like, he does not have the voice. I was like, Mike has got a better the voice than this.
Yeah,
dude.
get the fuck out of here, Cedric the Entertainer. Oh, the voice.
What?
No,
why?
nigga.
What, like,
This
Why did you do that?
is the voice.
what's wrong with you? I know you've missed a couple of episodes. Did you forget that psycho egomaniac that you're sitting across from? Don't give him in. Don't feed
Give
the
that nigga no
troll.
goddamn ammunition.
I gotta do it once in a while. Every
No, you
once in a
don't.
great
you
while.
Really don't.
I mean, honestly, 3 of the 4 of us have better voices than Cedric the Entertainer in this.
Side eye.
Well,
Yeah, well, I walked right into that one.
I mean, you have a voice like Dewey.
That guy won a lot of awards later on.
No,
in life.
really did.
You know what he's talking about. He's talking about that bar scene. That one white dude on the radio.
Oh yeah, I know.
hilarious.
Look, when that,
Even he started laughing.
Look,
Like that's fucking
look.
funny.
look, if I was in his place, I'd be like, you know what? That shit's kind of funny.
I got nothing.
By the way, do you know who Dewey Hughes is?
I know that name, but I don't
Do you know who
the
Kathy
fuck-
Hughes is?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
runs
she
like
does,
Radio 1 or whatever.
Yeah, she has
Yeah,
TV One.
Yeah,
That's his wife?
That was his wife. Yeah,
Oh shit.
Well, they said
that's
that
how
this
all
radio.
shit, that's how all this shit got started.
Yeah,
All
because
that Radio 1 stuff.
right, because she owned Radio 1 or what is it, Clear
He
Channel? now?
bought radio. He bought the station.
Right.
And
Then they got
married
married.
Kathy Hughes. Kathy Hughes got into it. They got married or whatever. But Kathy Hughes really kind of took off with it.
Yeah.
And,
See,
And then ruined radio on the East Coast for the most part. Wow.
God
No.
damn.
Look, I mean, this is like fucking Petey Green's comment about Berry Gordy. No, Kathy Hughes fucked up radio. She did. She fucked it up. Because, I mean, look, one of their biggest things where they kept buying up stations, so then you would get the same sound across all the stations instead of like an individual sound between stations. I mean, that's just a fact.
I don't think she fucked it up. I think that there's not a lot of choice out there for urban radio. Like if you are listening to an urban radio station on the East Coast, you're probably listening to a Radio 1 station.
Yeah.
And
Didn't they get bought by Clear Channel?
I don't think so.
Or are they still a big?
I think they're still.
entity?
I think they're still. Their own entity.
Right.
But yeah, Radio 1, TV 1, and like all these urban 92Q for local people, KYS for local people, like all that's Radio 1. And look, good for her, man.
Radio 1, quote, the urban media specialist.
What does that even?
I mean, that's what they call. That's
Black.
what they call us, and that's what they call us in radio. Like
We're an urban
we're the
demographic.
urban-
that's
Yeah,
what they
we're
call
the
us in
urban
any
demographic.
business whatsoever.
Yeah, we're the
Yeah.
urban demographic.
you can't say the nigger demographic. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could say it,
I'd
but
rather you did say than nigga.
at least,
Just be
like,
fucking real with it.
Well,
Goddamn. Urban.
remember the regional manager at GameStop? I don't give a fuck. Remember the regional manager at GameStop that everybody said they wanted to fuck, but she looked like a skeleton wrapped in old wallets.
Betty?
Yeah,
God
Yeah.
damn. Wrapped in old wallet. Jesus
she was not attractive. She was old and super tanned and whatever. She in our when I was a store manager, in the store manager meetings, she would always talk about the urban, and I would even say something like, as soon as that's when I got put on her shit list when I started pointing out the fact that I did not appreciate urban, just say black folk. It's really obnoxious. Because she wouldn't just talk about it as demographics. That's how she would refer to black people, period.
Oh, okay. That's not cool.
Yeah,
it's one thing if you're talking demographics. It's a different thing to be like,
Yeah.
Right. Betty called us urban, and what's his name? Called us colored. Fucking.
He did that once. And that was funny.
That's all it
It's
needs.
so funny.
someone referred to black people in general as
Larry.
Nope. I'm not getting into that conversation.
No, it's because he's from the South, so he really didn't know.
No,
fuck that.
No,
That's not
is,
an excuse.
is he from the South of like 1865? Get the fuck out! No, nope.
I'm
All
just
right, we have a
saying.
clip. We have a clip. No, I can't.
I don't take that
can't.
dude seriously. I can't get mad because he was such a joke.
No.
Clip.
If somebody called me colored, they get punched in the fucking face. Seriously. Oh, really? I'm colored? Fuck you. I'm gonna sue this
Oh no,
company.
he didn't call anybody in particular colored. I remember the conversation. It was stupid. Like I can't take that dude seriously. He was a joke. He was a clown of a human being.
Nope. All right, moving on. That shit's making me mad. I feel my blood pressure rising. All right, so we have a clip of Dewey who is not too pleased with Petey coming into the radio station acting like a goddamn fool.
Hands off
Have
of
you
me.
lost your mind? Are you trying to get me fired?
Man, I'm trying to get me a job.
Look, I admire your determination, okay? But you do not walk in here and talk to Mr. E.G. Sonderling like that. And where the hell did you get the idea you'd be a disc jockey?
From you, brother.
What? I never said that. I said look me up, okay? And even if I could get you a job, it'd be as a janitor or a window cleaner, maybe.
Oh, I don't do windows, Jack.
I guess that kind of work is beneath a convict of your pedigree, huh?
You know what, man? Fuck you. I thought you was real. You ain't nothing but another white boy with a tan. See, a cat come out of Hard Time USA looking to turn his life around. Should I expect to get rejected by Whitey?
So, because I'm black, I'm supposed to ignore the fact that your only experience has been in jail and hire you as a DJ on the radio?
You goddamn right.
You sound just like my brother.
Nigga, I ain't him. I'm out here trying to get what's mine. His ass is back there in Lawton cooling his heels. But you know what? That's all right. You Sidney Poitier ass nigga. I'm gonna get what's mine. And when I do, I'm coming right back here and shove it in your fucking face. Sell out.
It's so funny because,
That shit had me fucking crying.
dude, Dewey actually like kind of chuckles because it's like that was a devastating ass fucking comment. Sidney Poitier looking motherfucker. It's like, god damn.
That shit was too funny.
And Taraji's still dancing.
Still dancing. So from there, they're getting ready to leave the radio station, and Vernell is like, you know what? I'll be right back. And then she runs runs into the on-air room where the Hawk is doing his show, and she makes out with him a little bit.
On the air, so everybody in the building hears, including Petey, and he's like, get your ass on.
I mean, how mad you gonna be, bruh? I mean, considering future actions.
Well, there's that, but I do like the fact that he wasn't he was like, just come on. Like,
Hey.
he wasn't even mad. He was just like, just stop it.
Was he supposed to be the late night DJ?
Yeah, I think so. The Hawk was.
What the fuck was he doing?
Why was he there at like 12 in the afternoon?
I don't know, but like, there's a lot of like, there's a couple of like timing issues kind of like that happen. But like, why are there candles? Like, it's radio, nigga. They can't see you.
No, what else was
He's trying to set the
Because
mood.
this is a movie based on a real story, based on a script.
This is a movie inspired by a real story based on a script. The late night DJ was actually named Fred Soulfinger Corey.
Soulfinger?
Yes.
All right.
How many fingers?
Yeah, exactly. Come hither. Oh, gross. So then they leave the Vernell.
Hold on a sec. Soulfinger.
That is an awful name. That is just go with the Hawk, for the love of God. So they leave, and then they immediately, there's just a series of scenes where Petey just starts a fucking like protest, basically like calling out the radio station for not hiring him, which is actually pretty smart.
That's some shallow shit, though.
Oh, it's shallow as fuck. He's got the radio station is called WOL, and he has a sign that says Washington's Original Liars.
Is that what it said? Because I couldn't see what
I
it was
couldn't
saying.
read what it said. I
Yeah.
was trying to read, but I was like, fuck it. Somebody else will probably read it.
Yeah. So he starts a protest, and every day he's got like more and more people there. Like by like the third or fourth time you see the protest, he's got on a fucking beret. He's got a bullhorn. Like, and they're basically saying how Dewey Hughes is in bed with the man is the chant, which is actually pretty fucking hilarious. And so Dewey writes on a piece of paper or on a newspaper like, hey, kind of like meet me at this pool hall at a certain time, and gets it passed to Petey. And of course, like any other nigga, he drops his heartfelt protest the second it's time to get a job, which I think is hilarious. It's like, yeah, fuck this guy. Oh, I work there? I'll meet you later.
But I'll holler at y'all later. Did this happen?
I don't know if this happened. I'll let you know when something.
I don't believe that this
Yeah,
happened.
I don't believe this happened. Like, now from what I understand, Dewey wasn't as high up as he was at the time.
Okay.
Like when he got Petey that job, like certain people had to leave, and then the radio station decided, all right, well, it's time to go all black, and Dewey started making demo tapes with Petey, and then he would deliver those demo tapes to the right people, and then that's how he got the job.
Oh, okay.
Not
That's not
So
nearly.
he
as
wasn't the
interesting.
director of programming.
Not at the time.
and
no.
this shit that we're about to see happen.
Right.
There's no chance in hell that would have happened without some jail time.
Anybody get no job from a pool game.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, you mean when they actually? Yeah, we'll get there. In a second.
Oh, yeah.
None of that shit happened.
Look, I saw that shit and I'm like, come on now. This is too Monty Python-esque to happen in real life.
So they meet at a pool hall under Dewey's advisement from that letter, and they meet there, and he basically bets. They bet $500 to play 9-ball, and whoever wins, if Dewey wins, Petey just basically like fucks off. If Petey wins, he gets the job. So what I thought was funny is like, oh, let's play for $500. Dewey just has $500 cash in his wallet.
Right. I was like, God
Yeah,
damn, what the fuck?
and even that Dewey has it, but that Petey has $500 at all.
Right, but at least like he's in a pool hall like hustling people for money. So that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, like why the fuck do you have $500?
Because he's a black man in the 60s, and niggas, that's all they do is just keep a bunch of cash on them.
They don't trust banks.
I was about to say,
What's the name done? I mean, what's the
dad-
name doesn't trust banks, and he's a multimillionaire. What's
My
that dumb
dad-
boxing guy?
Oh,
Mayweather.
Yeah,
My
I'm gonna keep
dad-
my money in a fucking Bank of America.
My dad still carries a bunch of cash around
Why?
and a money clip. Like, he black as shit, man.
My dad has a money clip as well. That's
Yeah,
kinda
like
funny.
that's just.
I don't know how much money he carries around. 'Cause
I've always
I don't see
wanted.
him.
I've always wanted a money clip because I've
Hashtag
always seen like older people had money clips when I was a kid. I was like, that's awesome. But as I grew up, I'm like,
Why do I want people to see how much cash I have?
I don't want to keep this much. And for a while there in my life where I kept at least like $300 on me all the time.
Not ever.
But that was out of laziness of not going to the bank because I made cash at work all the time.
Yeah, no, man.
And
I just feel like I would just get robbed.
well, that's the thing. Like I was a server making cash,
right.
and other servers made fun of me for having so much money on
Yeah,
me.
like,
all
what are
the
you
time.
doing? What are you, a drug dealer? Go put it in the
Well-
bank. I'm black. I don't trust the bank.
I will say this: when I first moved out of my mother's house, and then when I proposed to my first fiance, I paid for it. I was like, here's a rent cash. Here's this brand new giant TV cash.
She thought you were a drug dealer.
I felt like a drug dealer when I paid for her engagement ring in straight cash.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Was it a nickel and a half?
I was making a lot of money back then. It was stupid.
I don't care. Like I do carry cash. I carry enough cash in case of an emergency, like $20, $30. Like I have a card.
Hey, I'm gonna say this right now. If you're in your early 20s and you're waiting tables, save your damn money. Don't go out and drink that shit. This is like a public service announcement. Don't go out and drink that shit every damn day. Don't buy every stupid thing in the world. Save your money. I should be rich right now.
But you're not. Now you're here doing
Yeah.
this for free.
Seriously.
Make sure you go and buy that thing that we talked about earlier.
Especially if
It'll help us.
Wow.
I forgot the URL.
So, yeah, just
job.
save your damn money because
You need it, man. Look, black people, we don't save. We don't save money. That's a real fucking problem. We don't.
Because I worked at Hard Rock Cafe downtown before the harbor was super like developed.
Right.
There weren't a lot of restaurants.
Right.
So like Sunday morning, open doors, place is full, packed.
Yeah, there's no other competition.
Yeah, I just made shit tons of money down there. Anyway,
But yeah,
enough
saving
about
money.
me. Let's talk about some other people.
So from there we have so they're in the pool hall and basically Petey's like, look, they have this bet or what have you, and Petey's starting to get a little nervous, obviously you can tell, as they're getting ready to start this pool game. So here's
You got this.
here's a clip of basically Dewey hustling Petey, which is kind of funny.
See, Negroes always think that if you speak correct English or you wear clothes other than clown suits, that you're not real. Full-born. Side pocket. Now, for you, what's real is a nigga loudmouthing, right? Telling everybody how bad he is while he's looking for a handout. 5. But you give him a chance to take what's his, and he can't sink one single ball. 6. Lucky 7. And you were so busy running your mouth, you never really asked yourself why I chose a pool hall to me. Because this uppity nigga could never have grown up in these projects. Made his way through school hustling dumbass niggas who thought he wasn't down. They call me Mr. Hughes. Grew up in the Anacostia Projects.
It's like the perfect example of not judging a book by its cover.
I like that the 7 ball, he skipped the shit over top.
Yeah, I was like, all right, nigga, god damn, like, you're embarrassing me here. Like, what the fuck? You're just like, oh, a couple of, like, good shots, and then it's like, oh, really? We're just going to do, like, trick shots now.
I thought you had
great.
the part before that where, because Petey broke.
Oh, yeah, and then he didn't fucking sink a ball, so he lost, what, $100 or something?
It took him a while. So, no, he didn't lose $100.
He just didn't win that extra 100.
But it took him a while to break because Dewey was fucking with him the whole time before he even shot.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. What I like about Dewey is you don't quite understand everything that's behind his character. It's slowly revealed who he is.
I appreciate that he wasn't so one-dimensional at all.
No, he really isn't. And also, look, he grew up in the Anacostia Projects. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, but I know the Anacostia River is a piece of shit, so anything associated with it is probably garbage too.
God damn.
It is.
Yeah, that's when if you're going down 295, you hit Anacostia. You kind of hit that first.
That fucking area where the Anacostia River is, no, okay?
It's the hood.
It is the fucking hood.
It still is.
Yeah. Like,
no.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not going there. Get out of here. Absolutely not. So then basically he's like, look, man, they have a conversation after he totally kicked his ass. And he's like, look, basically have your ass not drunk at my office tomorrow morning and, we'll make something happen. And, it's like as much shit as Petey's been talking and all this other stuff. Like immediately him and Vernell like, you my type of nigga. Yeah, like they're so fucking happy. And so he rolls out. And like Dewey's like seemingly like a pretty cool guy. And then we cut to the next day where they basically they fire Vondie Curtis Hall from the morning spot, and they keep it to the point where they have to put somebody on in the morning. They only have like a minute left. And so they have to put Petey Green on. No, there's no way this would have happened. They would have put anyone else on.
It didn't happen because
you don't fire somebody with the replacement sight unseen.
Yeah,
he was a weekend job. He wasn't a morning show job.
So what you're saying is someone on the weekend position is a lower position than like during the week.
Yeah.
So if somebody gets like tossed on a weekend job. Like, it's not as big of a deal as if they got tossed on, like, during the weekday. So, like, if everybody is making all this, like, fucking hay about, a weekend disc jockey, for instance, like, getting tossed off air, then it's not really that big of a deal. And it might not have anything to do with, like, race. It might just be that they are suck.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering. I'm just asking questions.
I caught that the second you started.
Started what, Terrence?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you saying that I'm somehow implying something about other things that are in the news?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Cable news that everyone is fucking like up
It took me a moment to realize that you weren't talking about anything.
Yeah. I have an asshole.
I'm like,
Petey Green was a weekend job, and he didn't spin records. So
Oh, not at all.
It was just a
no,
straight
he
up
didn't spend
talk show.
Vegas. Yeah, it was a talk show.
I mean, in this scene or any of the other scenes, I mean, for the most part, he barely like he'll have a record on for like
But he's,
30
like,
seconds and they're like
talking
talking over it. Yeah. So maybe that was the thing.
Something else you're not supposed to do in radio, by the way.
Yeah, like shut the fuck up, dude. I'm trying to listen to the song. And it's funny because Petey gets so nervous that he ends up like he starts like belching on air and like he's just like and then he runs off and like throws up. And so Dewey thought that he was drunk, but it turns out it was just he was just nervous. Look, if I had to go on air right now on like a radio station, even though we do this, I would be nervous as fuck.
Yeah.
Even though you can't see anybody or anything else, I would be incredibly nervous.
Yeah.
Shit, I was nervous doing a one-on-one interview that wasn't being broadcast at a radio station once, and I was just like, ooh, this is like a big deal. I'm like, nigga, no one's listening.
Right.
Just calm your ass down. So after he throws up, he goes back into, they've got a song playing, so he goes back in, and, in classic movie magic, fucking Petey Green just finds his center and is then just perfect. Like, he just absolutely fucking nails it, which, again, probably didn't happen, but that's okay. And also, that gold shirt is amazing. But, that's just my own personal taste. I would not wear it.
Okay.
I just wouldn't. It's not a thing. Although I have worn club shirts that are equally as bad.
Oh, yes,
I'd
clearly.
say they were much worse than this.
That's what? That's a fair point. So they go in the air, and Petey is like real as fuck. He starts ripping on Berry Gordy, and then immediately has to go back on air and apologize for shitting on Berry Gordy. He goes, "Yeah, I didn't mean to call Berry Gordy a pimp. He just takes people off the streets, gussies them up, puts them back out there, makes a lot of money off of them, but he's definitely not a pimp." Is that okay? Like, that shit was funny. Like, whoever like wrote those lines, like, that shit was absolutely perfect. So then
Then he gets taken off the air.
yeah, immediately they're like, "You're fired."
Motown calls the station.
Like, nigga, are you crazy? One of two black stations in the fucking tri-state area. So Dewey is kind of depressed. He goes to a local bar and he's sitting there drinking, and he's listening to these three black dudes across from him talk about Petey Green, and they're actually talking about the broadcast. And they're like, "Oh yeah, he was telling it like it is," and all this other stuff. They're like, "Yeah, it was pretty good." Like, I didn't agree with like that white dude who was on air with him. And Dewey just fucking bursts out laughing because they're talking about him, which I can totally understand that sort of thing. Wah, wah. I wouldn't pay for those three niggas drinks. Fuck them, yo.
Y'all funny. Pay for your own shit.
Yeah, fuck you. I'd be like, you know what? Charge this drink to them. Fuck those guys. It's not the first time it's ever happened to him, I'm sure. Like it happened to me often.
Did it?
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. How many fucking people listen to this show and were like, "I thought Jay was black"? Like, why is a white guy leading this show? This seems odd.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Don't act like you two niggas didn't think that Jay was white.
I never
Yeah, before
denied it.
but no.
I never once
Absolutely.
denied it.
Yeah.
First time I heard
When I
when Micah told me he was doing, I was like, so he's doing a show with two white dudes?
Yeah. Fuck.
That seems weird.
Okay. That's interesting.
I was just like, whatever.
oh,
Then I met you in person. I was like,
like, oh,
Wait, who's this?
Oh. Yeah, like, is this the guy who cleans up afterwards? Like, I sweep up around here. I do windows.
Kind of like master
Who's
voice.
this watermelon man?
Really? Wow. Go fuck yourself.
wow.
I can do a pretty decent Jewish accent. So after they move Vonnie Curtis Hall's character, like Smiley or whatever the fuck his name was, Sonny, I think. After they move him off the morning show, then he's pissed, but he's still at the radio station for the late night show. And Dewey comes to see him, and he's like, "Hey, man, like, no hard feelings. Like, let's all be good." He's like, "Do you want a cup of coffee?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, all right." And so he closes the door, and Dewey fucking locks him in.
What kind of weird ass place?
Has key locks on the outside that you
Yeah.
can't, like, that's a bad idea, guys. That's definitely a movie thing. Like, no one builds buildings like that.
I saw that. I was like, no, that's.
I would, by the way, I'd freak out. Like, I have claustrophobia issues. I'd freak out. Like, even though that room isn't big, I'd be like, no, ain't nobody locking me in here. I'd kick that door off the fucking hinges.
Let me just take some notes right here.
That's my weakness. That and close talking. I don't like Yeah, like stay out of
So-
my fucking.
So if you
bubble.
if you really want to mess with Jay,
Yeah, lock me into a small space and stand really close and talk to me. I will flip out and punch you in the mouth. I'll flip out, dude. I'll flip out. Someone I have like business with was close talking to me the other day. I kept backing up and she kept moving forward, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like I could feel myself like starting to freak out. I was like,
Okay, Lane-
we need to hurry up and get through this to get away from
let
it.
me paint a picture for you. You wake up.
I'm in a small box.
Yeah, you're in a small enclosed space. You're somehow standing. You know, like what the hell? And you can just barely make out a figure in front of you. You just hear
Just like
just hear,
breathing.
you want to play a game?
No, dude, I would freak out. Like, I once got, and I think it comes from I was joking, like playing around as a kid, and some kids like put me in a trunk. You know, kids do fucking stupid shit, and like sat on the trunk. Dude, I thought I was going to die. Like, I got, it's like, that whole thing where it's like, oh, like a car falls on a baby or some shit, and like the mom like gets like superhuman strength.
Yeah.
And I'm a small person now. Imagine me when I'm like 12. Like, I was tiny, like barely 100 pounds. I lifted another kid. I lifted the trunk with them on it. I was like, "Whoa!" Like, I fucking freaked out. Like, I just freaked out. Like, that was like my one Hulk moment I've ever had. Like, I'll freak out.
So fucking funny.
So they lock Vonnie Curtis Hall in his office. He can't get out, and Dewey puts Petey Green on air because there's nobody else to go to. Meanwhile, they also lock the production office. So like Martin Sheen and all the other very angry white people are like banging on the door to get in.
After they get out of their own offices that they were
Right, because he locks the president of Martin Sheen in his office. So everybody eventually gets out, and they're all like pissed. And everybody's like trying to get in the production office and all this other shit, and he's like still going. There's no way this happened.
No.
They would have called the cops and shot both those niggas dead on air. Like this is a coup. Kill everyone. Nah, bro, it wouldn't happen. So they do
like they don't have some other way to interrupt the broadcast.
right, like only in that room. Like no, I find that
pretty
hard
sure
to
they
believe.
showed multiple rooms too.
Yeah, normally
they
in a
were
radio
in
station.
Studio 1 or Studio A or whatever. There's
Yeah,
multiple
so
studios.
there's no way that was going down. There's no way they come in there and are like, "Oh, you got 3 phone calls that say this is good." Oh, okay, you can keep.
Well,
going.
I mean, that's the thing, right? That's what keeps them basically from getting arrested. Is like, hey, we got a bunch of calls that are coming in. It's like, well, is your radio station doing that bad that 5 calls is what like changes everything?
Apparently, like Vonnie Curtis Hall's character was so bad at being a disc jockey that they were amazed that 3 calls came in.
Oh my god! Stop everything! Holy shit! And so
But
so
if
they're
it was-
blown
if
away
it was
by this.
that bad. How are all these people listening that damn quick? If people
Right,
aren't
like
listening
who-
in the first place.
Movie magic, man. Movie magic. And so Martin Sheen.
But you know what? In fairness to the movie, it's a funny scene.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good
And-
scene.
and
It's just movie
very
magic.
entertaining.
Yeah, it's just
It's
movie
just
magic.
not true.
Yeah, like if this movie weren't based on a real life event,
Right, you just let it slide.
but although locking office doors from the outside is still stupid.
So they're basically like, hey, look, this guy's so good. Let's give him a try. And so they move Vonnie Curtis Hall officially to a different time slot.
They tell him to his face right then and there, and he's like, "What the hell?"
He looked pissed. And then like the movie sort of takes off like immediately, which is Petey Green becomes like this overnight sensation over, you think it's like a course of a couple months. They don't say, but the Hawk comes in. He's got his 2 ugly ass dogs, and he's like, "Oh, there's fan mail from me." He's got a better voice than I do, and the secretary's like, "Yeah, here's these 3 letters," and then she takes one of them back. She's like, "Oh, no, that one's for Petey." And there's a whole bag of fan mail for Petey Green, and virtually none for the Hawk, who was like their big name a couple months ago. So then cut to
Can I get back to the Hawk for a second? And how he didn't have the voice and he didn't have the body.
Well, most radio people don't.
Yeah, but all these girls getting moist in the panties for Cedric the Entertainer before he lost weight.
I mean, women.
I could tell a personal story about Cedric the Entertainer. I'll tell it after this.
Women they're not quite as visual. Like they're visual,
I thought
but they're
you were
not quite.
somewhere really bad.
No. They're not quite as
Not as
visual.
smart as men.
Like
wow.
they can find like beauty in the most ugly people. Like look at all the ugly people in the world who are getting women. You know what I mean? Like as long as you're funny.
Yeah, I mean, personality matters much more
Yeah.
to women than it does to men. Men are like, what you look like.
Right.
They just didn't present anything from him that.
He's just cool. Like, I mean, you got to remember though, it's celebrity, right? Like
Yeah,
being a celebrity,
absolutely.
and he's a celebrity in a local radio station. I mean, look, some people are impressed by internet celebrities, right? Like, which I think is hilarious. I'm like, it's just a nigga in a house. like, what are you fucking talking about? You know, but people are impressed by those kind of things. It all depends on what you're into. So I do have a personal Cedric the Entertainer story. So a number of years, this is before I met my wife. She was actually at a club in Baltimore, and he tried to pick my wife up. She did not.
That's funny.
Like no, but she said he was really nice. That same night, or that night or a different night, same place. What's that dude? Tracy Morgan. Tried to pick up my wife.
How you doing?
Yeah, and she was like, no, and apparently like he was a fucking asshole. Like he was like a ridiculously drunk asshole.
Yeah, he's a lunatic.
Yeah, no, he is a lunatic.
I was
but
gonna say this is no one will believe this, but I don't give a fuck.
You secretly are Cedric the
like
Entertainer?
10 years ago, maybe a little less. I went to one of the BotCons that I go to,
right,
and I was a lot more apt to being funny back then, I should say.
Okay.
My depression hadn't destroyed my fucking outlook on life at the time.
Right.
And I had fangirls.
Yeah, I can believe it.
It was weird.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I know. I'm nothing. Go ahead.
We don't. I don't
You go ahead.
I don't know anyone else at this table that would possibly know what that's like
Yeah.
at all.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Of course you don't.
Moving on. No, I mean it is what it is. You know, celebrity is a funny thing. It's a funny thing. I wouldn't know anything about that with my voice, guys.
Was that your deep voice?
No, it was not.
That was like Cedric's fake ass voice.
Is that the voice that you use when you are
Yeah.
with your wife?
Yeah, yeah. That's
Oh my God.
That's the
Baby, how you doing?
that's the voice.
Here's my beat voice. You like this?
Like,
Yeah. Tell me
like
what
this?
you want me to tell you what
No,
you do?
no.
Or
It
you wanna
gets
tell
it
me
gets
what
more
to do?
it gets more high pitch if you can believe that. If that's even possible. So of course, with any level of celebrity, pussy gets thrown at you. And Petey Green is like the very next scene. Petey Green is like just banging out a fan.
Oh, I got a question. Maybe I missed it. Why did in the very beginning of the movie? Why did she give her bra to him?
I didn't
I
even
don't know.
understand that.
Also, that bra was achieving nothing. It was just a piece of fabric.
She ain't need it.
Nope.
She didn't need it. Taraji P. Henson's doing just fine. So of course, Petey gets caught sleeping with a fan by Vernell, who bust a bottle over the back of his head.
Good, because he didn't even sleep with like one of the really
I don't
good looking
think
ones.
She busted over his
Or his
head.
back.
She broke it and it was about to stab
Yeah,
him.
she broke it on something else.
She broke it on like a wall.
I
Oh,
too
okay.
thought that she just busted him upside the head.
I thought she straight up fucking hit him with it. Which
Nah, he'd be knocked the fuck out.
I mean, I could appreciate that. Like that would have been funny.
And you're right, Rob. Like, look, I don't condone cheating at all, but I'm not here to
No,
tell you
dude,
how to
she
live
hits
your
him.
life.
I'm just watching. She hit him in the back of the fucking head with
Did
it.
she?
Yeah. Like
What were you about to say, Micah?
I don't condone cheating at all, but and I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. But if you are going to cheat, you gotta cheat up. Like
Seriously.
you do. Like this woman versus Taraji P. Henson.
nah, bruh.
You get
I
out
mean,
of
she's
my
good
face.
looking, but like,
Yeah,
no.
she is. If I hadn't met Taraji P. Henson,
Well, and like, here's also the thing: if you're gonna cheat, don't fuck in your house. What are you doing? You're gonna get caught.
That was a surprising part. I'm like, really?
You just gotta do it. Oh, she'll never be home, nigga. Cell phones aren't like they don't exist now. Like you have no idea where she is. There's not what's the app people use? Like where are my friends or whatever. So you at least like GPS locate. Like all right, she at Walmart. I got 25 minutes to make this something happen.
Shit.
Nigga, you don't know where she is, and she ain't got no job. She gonna be home. Yeah, so she catches him. She almost cuts him with a bottle, and she tells him to get out. He's like, "This is my house," and she's like, "Nigga, I said get out." And he has no clothes on, so he heads over to Dewey's house.
Well, how long of a
buck-ass
trip
naked.
was this?
Hopefully not.
Because it looked like he walked down the hall.
Hey, get the fuck out. So he gets to Dewey's house, and he's naked. And, like, Dewey doesn't want to let him in, but he does, so that his neighbors don't see it. And then, of course, Dewey is, he's on a date. And this woman is like, oh, this is what, I guess she assumes, like, they're gay for each other.
You know what? This woman's stupid because she just saw the whole interaction.
Nah, she was like, don't need to see some other nigga's dick. I'm out.
No, but it's one thing to say, all right, this is kind of messed up. I'll see you later. It's another thing. I see how you are. Like, he didn't want him in there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she's not part of the movie.
Well,
anyway,
look,
so.
he talks white. He's probably a little
limp-wristed.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. So then, so after that, Petey stays the night over there. He gets straight up drunk as shit, and he's like, "Oh, I fucked up." Like, yeah, you fucked up, dum dum. Don't fuck around on your girl. And so then, he gets in the office the next day, and he comes to find out Vernell came to the radio station and fucked the Hawk, right in the radio station.
Did she fuck him, or did she just
No,
go down
she fucked him. No, absolutely.
You sure?
Yeah, she wiped her mouth because she was sucking his dick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But his like shirt was open. I think it doesn't
like
matter.
the way he was laying in that chair. He was laying in that chair like he just got his dick sucked. Not like.
Well, that makes it better.
Yeah, like either way.
No, I'm just being like on semantics right now. I don't think they fucked. I think she walked in there, threw his clothes everywhere, which is funny, and then sucked his dick.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would. What's the fucking line from Insecure? I'd rather have a man's penis in my mouth than have him sleep with my woman. No,
you get me?
Like,
not at all.
Not exactly.
Not really.
No. What I thought was really funny about this scene though is when Petey goes in to confront the Hawk, he like thinks that he's gonna kick his ass.
That shit was hilarious.
He punches him in the face.
Like, oh really? Wow. And he was like, oh shit.
Like, that didn't do much.
Oops.
He
regretted that shit instantly.
Yeah, he was like,
that's what made that scene like so
he was like, no, hold up. He knocked his ass over a table and they just started going to work. And so the fight gets broken up, and again, Petey definitely regrets punching the Hawk in the face. And then they're delivered a letter. Martin Sheen brings them a letter saying that Martin Luther King had been assassinated. Did this scene actually happen? Because this is where
going.
Okay, so I mean,
I'll let you know.
Martin Luther King was in fact actually assassinated. That did happen, unfortunately. Then he tells Petey, like, you need to go on the air, because I guess it's Petey's, I guess it's in the morning, and he's like, you need to go on the air and deliver this news. And so Petey does go deliver the news that Martin Luther King has been killed. And he delivers what arguably is a very angry, very real delivery of the news. Look, the funny thing to me is I don't know how as a DJ you could keep that, like, especially as a black person at that time. I don't know how you could keep that even remotely even.
Well,
and I think he does.
Furious.
Huh?
I'd be furious.
I'd be furious. Yeah, like, I'd be like, you better ask one of these white DJs to get. I can't do this.
That might be just the way he dealt with it himself.
Right, but it just like
To keep himself from going crazy.
I don't know, man. I don't understand. I mean, and we'll talk because there's a connection here between us personally and this whole event, and it's interesting to watch how they portrayed a black DJ handling it versus what you would assume just like a regular white DJ would just be like, that's the news. Like, it's unfortunate. Let's move on back to the top 40s.
You people.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, what do you guys think of his portrayal of that moment?
If this happened, then it's good.
Yeah.
And it shows that he's not just some dude off the street, because a dude off the street would be like, fuck these white people, we gotta kill them all. You know what I mean? Like, you realize, when you're talking to people, you have a certain amount of influence over them.
You do, in fact, have power, as much as people don't realize that these
right?
days.
You do, and it's good to know that, you know, as portrayed in this movie, he recognizes that, and because he was all about, you know, good for the community, and he was all about, you know, hey, you know, it's our community that you are destroying. Please don't do that. Please stay home. It's like when we were talking about, I mean, not to pat ourselves on the back, but when we were talking about all the shit that went down with Freddie Gray. And
right, and this is exactly the connection I'm talking about.
Yeah, like I saw people who were just like, let them riot. Black people. I was like, let them riot.
I mean, that's a very,
you know,
there was more of that than the opposite.
Right, and that's not, I stand to this. Like, that's not, the answer is not let them riot. Because guess what? Like,
we live here.
Right. I don't even live here, and I live here. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, I would never go to Pennsylvania Avenue and North Avenue. Never. But it's my town, though. You know what I mean? And I know people live there, and that's not, you're destroying your own. And I know people are mad. Like, if you look, quite frankly, you want to destroy something, you go to where the white people live at.
I believe the quote from you was "burn down the city."
Yeah.
I believe that was your a direct quote.
I mean, but that's what you destroy. You don't destroy where you live at.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but it's obviously the most common thing, because you go, yeah, I'm angry. Like, I'm just gonna go outside and burn. I'm not gonna like get in my car to drive across town to do it.
And that was one of the big problems with that, because a lot of this started with the kids that weren't living in that particular area that didn't care, but then the people that did live in that area rolled out,
right,
and started driving up to Mondawmin Mall and running in there.
Yeah, I mean, and that, look, and I think you're right. You know, and I know for a fact that we were definitely in contention with a lot of people who were voicing their opinions during that thing. But it's like, a lot of the people who were voicing those opinions don't live here. So it's really easy to be like, let them riot. Yeah, nigga, because when you walk outside your house, your shit ain't on fire. I live here. So it's like, there are black people who are being abused by police officers. They're, you know, in the case of the movie, black people being killed, you know, by racists and stuff like that. If you destroy everything that you, like, we barely have anything anyway. We don't own any wealth, right, in this country. We really don't. We got Oprah, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and like a couple of black people we never heard of, because they're trying to keep their shit under wraps so the IRS doesn't come and take it. So, like, we don't have any real wealth in this country. So the little bit that we have, which is home ownership, you can't just burn down all of that, because then we have nothing. And then what does it do? You got nothing and you're mad. Oh, good. Well, I'm sure that will help tomorrow. That doesn't help you get food. That doesn't help your people get any better. You know, but I know we're supposed to, like, it's easy to succumb to anger and fear and revenge and all. It's easy to do those things. It actually takes an adult attitude to go, this is fucked up and I'm not okay with it. I'm not going to burn down my fucking neighborhood.
Right.
Like, it just does. And look, I get why people are mad. I don't begrudge them for being mad. It's just like, you know, and I'll play the clip in a second. It's not about just being mad, because there's more to it than that. So Petey goes on the air and he delivers that news, but then they go out him and Dewey go out in the streets, and it is like it's a fucking riot, and there's paper everywhere, and there's military trucks and black people grabbing white people and beating the shit out of them in the street. And then you were like, I understand it. Like, why are you helping them? Kick them. No.
Did that guy say thank you when he got up?
I think he did, or he sort of motioned like
he said thank you, but look on his face, he could have said nigga, I don't know what.
Yeah.
I'd have kicked him dead in his chest again.
Bam! Like, why? Like,
again, because you already did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, never mind.
It is what it is. But so they go out. It's a nightmare. And Petey says, like, I need to get on air. Basically, I need to like talk people down. Basically, and they do that. So Petey does go back on the air, and this is the message he did.
Before you start that, am I the only one that's wrong for thinking get that nice ass car out of there now while they was trying to get away?
Oh, what, the convertible? I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe you should put the top up. It's just a thought. But here you go.
Yeah, buddy. It's a dark day in America. Got to be one of the darkest days I ever seen, and I seen more than most.
WOL. Yep, hold for
Evening,
PD.
Washington. Here's Petey Green. Talk to me.
It can't go down like that, Petey. Somebody gonna have to pay. I'm telling you right now, somebody gonna pay tonight.
I know you're hurting.
You the only one we have, Petey.
We all hurting. I know how angry you are. You want revenge, want that quart of blood, and I don't blame you. But I want y'all to just go take a look out your windows. I mean, those of you that got them, just take a look outside. Tell me what you see. You see a city on fire. Now that's your city, our city, and that's not what Dr. King would have wanted.
Man, I'm telling you, they mad. So keep talking.
I ain't nothing, man. I ain't nothing but a con and a thief. So I ain't up here trying to be nobody's preacher. I'm just trying to tell the truth to y'all like I promised I would. And the truth is, I went to jail because I was a knucklehead. Dr. King went to jail for what he stood for, fought for, and died for. And this ain't it, y'all. This ain't it. The man was a giant. Now, if they could do that to him, don't think for a minute they won't cut you down like a dog, too. So look here. If you at home, please just stay home. And if you out in these streets, man, go home. Put your anger away till we can sort all this mess out. I ain't saying I know how we gonna do it. I just know that we will. We shall overcome. Hold on a second now.
It is a free concert tomorrow night. You and James Brown, Georgetown University.
Okay. I just been told that tomorrow night, Mr. James Brown, the Godfather of Soul, is gonna be giving a free show. That's capital F-R-E-E at Georgetown University. Bring your heartache. Bring your anger. Just bring all that to me and we're gonna work it out together. We're gonna get through this, people.
It's amazing how James Brown was able to do the free concert in Georgetown when he actually was in Boston doing the free concert.
Oh.
Damn it.
Boston.
I take it that Petey Green was not the opening act.
I was trying to remember because I knew that they had that free concert in what you call it? Get On Up.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, this don't seem right.
I don't think Petey Green was in that movie.
I don't remember no Petey Green.
So is that the big?
No,
I don't remember Petey Green.
That's
I remember
not the
James.
big one.
no.
That's not the big one. James Brown was the one that calmed the crowds that night.
So
And
you,
I know
so
for
you,
a fact that happened.
So you say, not in this movie.
Man,
it was a lonely DJ. So look, I thought Petey Green's words there were really quite good and quite well done. But again, this to me is this is the testament, I guess, between what radio is or was and what like podcasting is. Because even though I respect what he did, it is not a honest response to this situation. Like, it's just not. It is a very sanitized response to it. Like, I compare it to our response to the Baltimore riot stuff, or the Baltimore uprising, and it's more of like pure unadulterated anger in a lot of ways. It just is, it's more real. Does that mean that Petey Green didn't feel that way? No, it doesn't mean that. I'm just saying, like, that's one of the things that sucks about radio is it's not real. It's completely fabricated.
Also, what's not real is the fact that he was apparently on air like all day and night, preempting all the other people. Like,
I've seen that before.
But was Cedric standing there the whole time watching and then when he got out?
Everybody was there.
I've seen like radio stations and DJs do marathon shows, and they're on the air. Now other people would come in
and
to
talk.
help
Well,
them.
yeah, I've seen marathon shows, but this seems like a different situation than that.
I mean, I think they're just trying to. I mean, again, I don't even think.
I want to know what happened. I want to know because I guarantee he went on the air and spoke about it at some point in time.
Did he? Did he? I don't know.
We don't know that.
He had to have gone.
Was
on
Petey
the-
Green a real person, guys? Was he even on the radio? No, but I mean, I'm sure he did. But I think it's just a writing trick to show how much respect he gained from the DJs themselves. I mean, here he's literally fighting with
fight 5 minutes ago,
right? And Cedric the Entertainer is clapping, and like this guy is like the shit after this
Cedric
show.
don't care. He just got his dick sucked.
Yeah, well,
He's all right.
He's feeling
He got
pretty
his
good.
dick sucked. He like shook off that punch like it was nothing. He don't give a fuck.
That shit was hilarious. It's like, oh shit, I done fucked up now. So they cut to the free concert with time traveling man of many places, James Brown.
This free concert
in
with
DC.
James Brown that can't start without a DJ.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. That was kind of funny. We're waiting on Petey Green. You're James Brown. Just get the fuck out there and start singing. They'll be fine. But Petey Green eventually shows up. He's drunk as shit. And they basically made some comment like, I can't believe you came to this thing drunk. He's like, you lucky I came at all. And so Petey's fucked up because he's obviously depressed about King being killed. And then they bring out...
One thing we skipped over is that they have mentioned repeatedly that he's an alcoholic.
Right. Yeah, he definitely is. Then James Brown comes out. Who is a better James Brown impersonator, this guy or Chadwick Boseman?
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman.
Dude,
This dude don't even look like James Brown.
He looks literally he looks like Miguel Gorilla with a James Bond wig on. Although the dude can dance, though. I will give him
If I
that.
didn't know it was supposed to be James Brown, I wouldn't have thought for a second that it was James Brown.
Well, he's got an inch and a half between each one of his teeth. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, you saw how they were cutting away, man.
Yeah, he was like, hey.
Like, all right, this is the best we got.
This movie is a low budget.
We got a lot of shots from the back of your head. That's good.
Just keep dancing over there. So then basically everything is riding
like
high.
Bookman. I'm looking at the scene now. It looks like Bookman from fucking Good Times.
Oh my God.
Doesn't he?
Yo, what if it is?
Yeah,
Like-
Bookman is like, isn't he dead?
He would
might not
he would have been like 87 years old.
That's so funny.
This is Bookman's son. So Bookman finishes his concert. They move on, and everybody is like super into Petey Green now because of what he did. So he starts doing stand-up comedy. They have a great scene where he talks about not stealing something from the White House, and then of course the implication is that he actually did, like some china or some shit, which is hilarious. Then everybody is like all about him. He does like a show called was it Petey Green's Washington or Petey Green's Wash? I think
Petey Green's Washington, and that's where that clip that I showed yesterday is from.
That shit is hilarious.
I miss big ass wicker chairs.
You know what?
My mother.
My mom had one of those.
Oh, my grandmother had one of those.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. After I saw this, I was like, when we go back to video, I kind of want to get 4 of those wicker chairs because they black as shit, dude.
Oh shit.
How
Us
fucking
four
hilarious.
sitting in those 4 wicker fucking chairs.
That shit would be hilarious.
Can we do that for our first video? We all just wear dashikis.
I don't even know. Can you? I guess you probably buy one on Amazon. You buy anything on there. just whatever. But they have so he starts to do the show and it's getting to the point where it's clearly more than he's ever wanted. More than he can handle. Now, I think we all know of some black people who just cannot handle success, like when it's given to them.
Yeah.
Or people in general, right?
Some people are complacent and they are perfectly fine with being at their station, and then some people are super ambitious and
Right.
But
like not only like super ambitious, but some people are legitimately scared to succeed, like to try to
yeah,
succeed.
because if you try, you could fail.
Yeah.
Or
Like-
if you try and you make it, you might not be able to handle it, and then like people psych themselves out.
Right. Like and I know this sounds kind of fucked up, but I don't think Dave Chappelle could handle that level of success. I don't think he could. And I think he's probably a better person for it, but I don't. Oh shit! Did you $265 for that chair?
For one.
You better get the fuck out of my face.
Nope. No, but I kind of do want. I
And
kind of do want 4 of them though. I'm not gonna lie. Like if we ever make it, Guess what's happening? We're getting 4 of those things. Fuck it. Why
it's
not?
It's not even Amazon Prime.
Support our sponsors, guys.
Yeah. 4 wicker chairs. Those
You know
things-
what?
How much of a set are we going to need? They're so fucking big.
Here's what one guys need you to do. I need you to. Do we still have our Amazon link?
Yeah, you can go to blackandblackcinema.com/Amazon.
And then order 4 of these chairs.
You just order them and send them. Look, if you want to spend $265 for each of them, you let me know. I'll send you a shipping address. So they start to do the show. There's a great scene. I don't know who the band is supposed to be, but they have the band playing, and then they cut back to Petey Green with this fucking suit on, his like blue suit with like all these blue patches on it, and he is like drinking and getting down, dude. He's like fucking having a good time.
That band was a bunch of white people with stark white afros.
I don't know what the fuck was going on. Whatever it was, that shit.
Apparently they were
was
playing some
hot.
good ass music. So
Yeah. It was like the average white band. They were playing Pick Up the Pieces and shit. I don't know.
When he's sitting in his wicker chair, he looks like Tim Meadows.
I feel like that's where they got Tim Meadows from.
That might actually not. That actually might not even be wrong.
that's funny.
The ladies, man.
I'm Peter Green.
So he starts doing stand up, and it's going over super well. God damn, he does look like Tim Meadows. And everything is going well and what have you. Then Dewey comes to him and he's like, "Look, man, I got you on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson." And that's a big fucking deal. Even back then.
It is a big deal.
Didn't happen. did
Because it didn't fucking happen.
There you go.
I didn't think so. Because that would be one of the most infamous clips of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And none of it happened.
Yeah, as soon as it's
Like this whole section of the movie is just untrue.
I went to look for this video. I'm like, can I not find this video because it's owned by somebody else? Dig. Oh, it's not real.
Yeah, this whole section of the movie is just fabricated. And I've been reading a couple things, and I'm trying to figure out why would they fabricate this.
To make it into a better story for the movie,
right?
For the real reason that he got out.
It's they wanted to bring up the point about, they wanted to bring up the question, which I think is an interesting question that I'll pose to you guys. When you are looking at a comedian, are you laughing with him or are you laughing at him? And how would you feel if, like, you've done stand up, haven't you?
Not stand up, but I've done a lot of improv.
Right, and you've done improv, and improv is comedy most of the time, some of the time. Like, do you feel like people are laughing at you? Do you feel like people are laughing with you? Do you feel like people are in on the joke, or do your insecurities, like all of us have, kind of jump up to the forefront, and you feel like, oh, maybe they're not? Do you ever feel that way? Like,
I
maybe they're
haven't
not
felt
laughing
that
at
way
me?
for myself because I have no problem performing and making an ass out of myself on purpose. So I feel like they may think they're laughing at me sometimes, but if I think they're laughing with me, if I'm doing something to intentionally get a laugh and I get a laugh, that's fine. But I've watched other people I work with try to get a laugh and not realize that they're failing miserably and people laughing at them. And it's really uncomfortable just to watch it happen and to be a part of it at all. So it's a little bit harder for me to relate because it's not like I have a shit ton of exposure or anything. I've just done some small local shows, but I don't know. I can understand it. When I was watching the movie, I came at it from a like shucking and jiving type of thing. Like when they put him on the whatever show, the Tonight Show. Is that the Tonight Show?
Yeah, it's the Tonight Show.
Because I'm all fucking confused. I was about to say the Daily Show, but when they put him on there, and it's a whole crowd full of white people that don't understand the things he's talking about. At that point in time, yeah, they're laughing at him, not with him, because they don't get it. They're just like laughing at him, quote unquote, being a buffoon or whatever.
Do you think that, I pose this to everyone, do you think that black entertainers and celebrities have this kind of come to Jesus moment like we know Dave Chappelle did?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this is something that most black entertainers have to wrestle with? Or do you think it's like Just
They-
a case by case.
They don't have to, but I think the good ones do. Like, what's his name on Saturday
Depends
Night
on-
Live when he was like, "I'm not wearing a dress anymore. I'm tired of people like pointing and laughing at me. I want to try and be a little more respected."
Kenan.
Yeah, when he put his foot down, he was like, "No, A, I'm not doing that anymore. B, hire some black women."
Yeah, he also said some really shitty things about black female comics right before that. It's
Well,
like, oops.
they're not all winners, but
I don't know. For me, I think it all depends on how popular you get, right? Like if you're and how crossover you become too, right? Like
yeah.
if you're Earthquake, the comic, he's a black comic. He doesn't have any crossover potential. Like he's been a comic for years and has never really crossed over into mainstream American comedy.
I sure never heard of him.
Exactly. Like people who watch BET, Comic View and shit know who he is. But at the same time, Kevin Hart is a pretty crossover person now. Does he have to worry about that?
I think so.
I don't know at this point. Well, it
I don't
all
even know
depends
that
on
he
your comedy.
Right. I think a lot of his stuff is sort of self-deprecating. So like, yeah, people are gonna laugh at you because you want them to laugh at you. You're making fun of yourself to say, bring whatever it is to the comedy show and laugh through this person. But like a Louis C.K. or a Bill Burr, you're not really laughing at them as much as you're laughing with them as they're making fun of society. Yeah. So I think it all depends on the comic. Like
Dave Chappelle's a perfect example of this.
Right. Like his stand-up was more like Louis C.K. Him looking at the world and you laughing at the world as he's laughing at the world.
But the problem wasn't the stand-up. It was
the sketch. Right. The sketch. They're laughing at you. Like they are because you're dressing up as a wackadoo character and they're like, oh shit, you're Rick James, bitch. It's funny. Yeah, they are laughing at you. But that's what you want. Like you do want.
Well, it was
to a point.
It was the point when he said, white people quote stuff from his show that they shouldn't be quoting. He was like,
right.
This isn't.
I mean, that's a fine line, man.
Yeah.
I mean, how mad could Jay-Z? I mean, I guess you can get pretty mad, but like, is it hypocritical for like Jay-Z to get mad that white people call this song "Nigga in Paris"? Well, you named it that, dude. Like, and you're a crossover artist. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, how mad can you really be?
Yeah, I can't get mad when you have white people come to your show singing along with your songs. Like you put the song out there and they're paying you. Like and they're not running around. They're not being racist by singing along with your song.
Right, unless your song is in fact racist.
Well, yeah.
Now we are very we get on each other a lot, and it's all in good fun. But I'm not gonna let somebody make a short joke about Jay. I'm not gonna sit there and tolerate that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna.
Unless
I wish I could believe you.
Unless they're on Facebook. If they're doing it on Facebook, whatever.
Yeah, you motherfuckers join in.
We help. Shit.
You bunch of heightists.
But the same thing for all you guys. Like I'm not gonna let someone make a light skinned joke about you, and I'm not gonna let someone what the fuck is with what's your thing?
He's crazy.
I have nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let somebody say that Terrence is crazy.
I am.
Or arrogant.
I'm not crazy.
It's not true. So
that's the problem.
That's the
I'm
thing.
not
Like,
crazy.
it's not even remotely true if you say he's crazy. So if somebody says that to him, I'll just be like, "Shut up."
I'm not crazy.
Well, no,
that's exactly what a crazy person.
That's what people say.
Would you let a stranger call him Terror Bear?
Oh yeah, because I want to see somebody get choked the fuck out. I mean, in fairness, who doesn't want to see?
I mean, maliciously. I'm not going to let anybody.
Right? No, I mean, it's like you
not in the way that we get on each other.
Right. It's the whole thing with like siblings. It's like I can make fun of my brother, but
I'll
can't.
Try to kill somebody if they try to fucking make fun of my sister or my brother.
Right. Exactly. Right. But you'll like
kill them, but hurt them.
Yeah, not crazy.
Non-crazy person.
Injure them.
Right.
I'm not crazy.
He's not crazy. There's a difference between violent and crazy.
I'm not
just
violent either.
You can get violent.
All right. You're not crazy, but get the fuck out of here with the not violent shit.
I'm not.
Last week, you got out of a car and you threatened the lives of college students.
You put up your
I ain't
hoodie.
trying to fucking hear that shit.
You put up your hoodie on purpose before you got out of the car. And you said, quote, I had my knife on me.
Yes.
I mean, you were in a dress shirt, slacks, and shoes. You could have got up there and been like, all right, fucking bastards. Like, no, you put the nigga uniform on and to intentionally intimidate people who were already intimidated by you.
I'm going to need you to not try and say that you're not.
Yes. I don't see the problem.
Oh, my God.
It worked.
Look, here's the thing. One thing you can honestly say about Terrence that he cannot deny, nor will he deny. He really doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation.
And look,
It really does.
I will always
that
be the person.
situation. I didn't give a fuck.
I will
and
always.
Then I was like, oh wait, hold up, I might get shot.
I will
And I
always
got
be the
back
person
my
to defend you. I will always say you're not crazy because he's not going. I'm sorry. The moment that defines it for me is the moment when Jay says, "Does anyone have a pen?" And Micah says, "Oh, I have a pen." "Oh, that's not a pen. That's my nunchucks." And means it.
Look, in fairness, when I say that Terrence is crazy, I don't need people to misunderstand and think that I think that Micah is not crazy. I feel like
think
that
Micah
is
might be a little bit crazy than I am. I'm just saying.
He had nunchucks that looked like two lead fucking pipes stuck together with chains.
I think I might stop by
like he's a
Harbor
homemade
Freight and pick
Ninja
up
Turtle.
a machete today.
Oh yeah.
Why do you need a machete?
Are you going on a wilderness?
If you're not cutting down bushes in your backyard, the fuck you need a machete for?
I want one.
Are you going after the
Why?
I
Hutus
don't
or
know.
the
I
Tutsis?
just so I was like, oh shit, Harbor Freight has machetes for like $8.
Do you know how to?
Well, that's a pretty good deal.
You know how to
Yes.
use a machete?
You swing
You
Swing hard.
very hard.
Those
You
things
go
aren't
forward.
sharp.
Well,
Look,
it's long.
yeah. All you got to do is
And very large.
All you got to do is connect once, and they'll already be in pain enough for you to get
Connect.
closer.
You don't connect. You go through.
My dad has a machete.
Of course,
Hey,
your
I'm
dad
Shockley.
is
Right
again,
by his
again.
bedpost.
Look, again. Really, exactly. Is that the person you look? You don't know all the stories about his dad. I feel like you don't want to connect yourself too hard there. I'm just saying.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sure there are other stories that Michael will tell over the course of this program that you're gonna be like, you know what? Let me just
Let me back away. From that. But no, I saw it in a Harbor Freight, and I'm like, you know what? I want one.
$8.
So I'm thinking to pick one
I
up
think I'll
today.
put your ass on a list the second you want. What's your name? All right,
Using
so
it
back.
for fucking work. I don't know what you're talking
Scan your ID.
Nigga, you work IT. You know what? No, shut the fuck up. Get out of my face. For work. Yeah.
about.
Okay.
Anyway,
so they get on to the Tonight Show, and this is what unfortunately happens.
Quote unquote.
or fortunately.
Y'all gonna have to forgive me if I'm a little nervous. I just ain't never been in front of as many white folk before. I know my manager do is backstage right now about to have a heart attack saying, oh, Lord, please don't let this fool go out here and say something crazy. But he knows I always speak the truth. Yeah. Well, the truth is, I'm just the next con, y'all. And the people that live in the world that I come from, well, most of them can't even afford TVs. They listen to me on the radio. And they do that because I keeps it real. When they out there laughing, I know they laughing with me, not at me. But I look out here at y'all, and all I see is a room full of white folk waiting to hear some nigger jokes. I ain't got nothing to say to you people. Y'all ain't ready for P-Town. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah, none of that happened. But I kind of wish it did. That would have been one of the greatest clips of all time.
Yeah, it would have.
Unfortunately.
Would have been very powerful, but damn it.
Gosh darn it.
And this is where it all goes downhill in
not
this
happen.
movie.
So then the second he goes off stage, he talks to Dewey and he's like, yeah, man, I kept it real. And Dewey's like,
He was
oh,
like,
you
fuck you.
and he just punches him in the face. And they, of course, get into a physical fight. And then they both get carted off to jail. They're in a cell together, and he's like, you fucked me. Like, you screwed me over. And he was like, I told you I didn't want to do that. And, you know, it's not who I am. And they have this, like, back and forth. And it's basically the undoing of their relationship as friends. And so they break off. Dewey decides to go back to the radio station. Petey, of course, does not. And there's a scene with Ben's Chili Bowl in DC, which is kind of cool. And Dewey becomes a DJ, an on-air DJ, and he starts to win all these awards. Meanwhile, Petey is hanging out at a pool hall and all this other shit. Dewey starts wearing dashikis and getting black as hell. And then at one point, Petey Green actually calls into his show, and it's really odd. And obviously Dewey is pissed off, and he yells at his station manager that he's supposed to screen the calls, and he fucked up.
Why did he get so pissed?
Well, because I think he
didn't want to talk to him, and he
put him on
got
the spot.
blindsided, put him on the spot. Yeah.
So
Dewey,
He didn't even say anything that was fucking.
I think he's just mad.
No one else is going to get this, but maybe the two of you will. Dewey looks like Justin that used to work at GameStop. Remember Justin?
Justin, I can't say his last name, but
don't say his last name, but
it's
Flower.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he looks like him, doesn't he? With that thick ass like goatee.
Yeah, with the goatee. Yeah,
used to work in
Still friends with him.
Yeah.
Which GameStop was it that he used to work on?
Route 40.
40. I thought it was Charles Village.
He used to work at Charles Village too.
Okay, yeah.
He just looks like him to me. Sorry.
A little local, guys. A little local.
Yeah.
Real
local.
Yes.
Our listeners in Brazil are like, what the fuck is a GameStop?
The fuck is Justin?
So
Get to the jokes, nigga.
That's why we're listening. So Taraji P. Henson comes to the studio. Somehow she looks younger and better than she has the entire movie.
Seriously.
And she took off her ridiculous wig. And she comes there and she's like, "Look, Petey misses you." He makes her a White Russian. And
I was like, "What the fuck? That was milk?"
Yeah, White Russians have milk in it.
Gross.
It's actually a pretty good drink.
I love watching you find out about drinks.
Yeah. What is a Yingling?
I want to tell you this for a fact. Whenever I listen to the podcast with Laura, and she hears you not know about a drink, she's just like, "Oh, that's precious."
He's like a young, stupid person.
She is way younger than you and is just laughing.
That's funny. So she basically tells him, like, "Look, he misses you. You should go down to the pool hall and see him. He's there every Tuesday." And so Dewey does reluctantly goes to see Petey, and Petey's like, "Look, man, I love you. You know, you're my best friend, and all this other stuff. You know, I hate that this shit happened." And obviously, Petey is not in good health, as he's hacking and coughing like crazy. And
which they barely allude to. They don't really.
Yeah, all she says is like he was living a hard life. His hard life has caught up with him, and then he coughs once, and then it's like,
so this is where they get back together to be friends.
Right. Now, do we know how Petey Green died?
Yep, and I want you to finish before I talk about it.
So he dies at they make up, but then he dies at 53 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea?
He died of liver cancer because he drank himself to death.
Cirrhosis of the liver.
And that's why he got out of the entertainment business, had jack shit to do with all this Johnny Carson nonsense.
Oh, really?
None of that happened. He left because he was sick.
Well, cirrhosis of the liver will do that to you.
And that wasn't entertaining enough for this movie.
Do you find that Petey Green is a Petey and Dewey, for that matter, are they flawed enough characters that they seem realistic? To me, they do.
Yeah, they seem realistic.
Yeah, they seem realistic. It's just, I guess real life isn't.
It's almost never. It's almost never as interesting.
Right, which is why when people have like stories to tell, like they're usually like bonkers because real life is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. You live. You get a job. You die.
Do shit. And you die.
Like that's it. But you hope you get it. You hope you have enough entertaining stories in the middle. To tell a story.
Fucking psychopaths.
Who?
You too.
It's not like we have a show where we talk about all the insane things we get into every week.
Say who?
Okay.
I'm like, he's not talking to him and he's not talking to me. So
the funny thing is, like, as I think about that show, I'm like, there's so many other stories I can't even tell on this show. Like, you know what? I have to figure out another show to use as a format to get those stories out. So Petey dies, and there's a scene at his like a memorial they have in DC, which they talk about. I assume this is true because it's in text.
Well,
let me play the last bit of the movie.
Well, no, the text is true.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. All right, so let me play this last clip at the memorial for Petey Greene that Dewey sort of delivers a eulogy for.
He was the bravest man that I ever met. He was and still is everything I'm not. And that's why I love him. So in the words of my best friend, that's all we got. There ain't no more. That's right. Time is tight. It's the end of the show. So grab your head and make a fist. Listen to me. And remember this.
I tell it to the hot. I tell it to the cold. I tell it to the young. I tell it to the old. Don't want no laughing. Don't want no crying. And most of all, no signifying.
This is Petey Greene's Washington, ladies and gentlemen. This is P-Town.
So, I have a Washington Post article here.
Oh boy.
The most galling to the family, Petey Greene's family.
Mm-hmm.
It portrays Hughes as delivering a moving eulogy at Greene's funeral. In reality, Hughes had fired Greene and the pair were never reconciled. Hughes did not come to the funeral, and the family says he did not send a condolence card.
Oh, he fired? I thought he left.
Damn.
God, that's really far.
Well, that's a different ending.
So why did he fire him? Did he fire him because he was drunk all the time?
I would have to read
I think
more of this.
He probably fired him because he was like, dude, we're going to Johnny Carson. He was like, no, we're not. That was all a fictional story.
Like I said, the Wikipedia article on Petey Greene isn't very thorough, but it said that he basically was not active in anything because of his health.
The Wikipedia article is not thorough, but they do have a link to this Washington Post article that if you want to learn more about the real Petey Greene according to his family, like the fact that the film omits any mention of Greene's community work and his social consciousness and
Or
his
the fact that he
kids.
had a family.
Or his wife.
Right.
Who that?
Because that's not his wife. It really bothers me.
Yeah. So apparently, according to Petey Greene's family, a lot of this is just not true, and it's altered to make a feel good movie. And look, they did make a feel good movie.
They did,
and they did say, and I think the producer Joe Fries responded saying that the film is merely inspired by Greene and not a factual recounting of his life.
Should have changed some damn names then.
Look, I mean, this is the thing, and we've talked about this before. If you're gonna do a biopic, get it right. Like, all like warts and all, man. Like, just warts and all. Now, they don't really hold back any. It's not like they make him out to be this sanitized character by any means, but don't leave out the fact that he had 4 kids. That's a big deal.
See, it's really like I'm trying not to change my score because it was a good film. But fuck.
Yeah, look, I figure you're basing your scores off of the movie.
Yeah, I'm not basing it off of
as a movie, I would give it like a 5 out of 5. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever.
Right.
Like I really can't fault, besides locking people inside of their own offices, anything in the movie.
Logical failures.
Yeah, I can't really fault anything in the actual film because it was just a good film. Right. It wasn't amazing, but within itself, I would give it a 5 out of 5. Not necessarily saying it's better than some other movies, but it's just I don't really have any issues with it.
Right.
But the inaccuracies are absurd.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that whole children thing is kind of
that's a big deal.
That's a little come on, man.
4 kids, one of them's a junior.
Yeah, like that. Wow. Okay, that's a little odd. All right, so everybody keeping their score the same?
Yeah.
Like I said, the movie was above competent.
Yeah,
and you know it's a feel good movie. Like it it hits you in the feels just enough to not really like weep for the person, but not really like cheer. Like and look, a lot of movies
right down the line.
It's right down the line. It's right down the line and inoffensive unless you are related to Petey Green.
Right. It's like I'm his son. I exist.
Right. It's much like that movie Chef, right? Like you like Chef. I like Chef. I don't know if you guys have seen Chef.
It's a good movie.
It's a really good movie. Ain't blowing nobody away.
No. But it's just a really well done movie.
It's just a movie.
Yeah.
So, and this is a good movie.
Now. Thanks for mentioning that. I'm starving.
Yeah, I am too.
Thanks a lot, asshole. All right.
That's what I'm here for.
That's it for us. We will be back next week with another preview episode. You can obviously check out our preview episode for this one, which was all about celebrities trying to be black and be entertainers at the same time, which was a great conversation. But enough about that. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll be back for the preview episode for episode 79. Almost to 80, man.
Nice.
All right, guys. Later.
See you.
Take it easy.
Adios.
We out. We out. We out.